It's a busy day here in Midtown Manhattan, and we are going to explore right the heart of the Garment District and Times Square. We're starting off in a beautiful bakery. Look at this. So the bakery is called My Marvelous Fred, or in French, Au Merveilleux de Fred. Pardon my French. What's in the bag? Let's find out. And I got myself a Evian sparkling water. I'm super excited to try some sparkling water as well. Hello everyone, I'm Ariel, and this is Urbanist. From history to food to architecture to wandering around and going off the seat of my pants, as they say in the US. So, what is in the bag? So this place apparently comes from the north of France, and they have locations all around Europe, including one in Paris, and they bake everything within 30 minutes. So you're not having an old pastry, or you're not having a pastry from the morning, which for US standards, that would be considered fresh. Almost everywhere in New York City, you at least expect it to be baked that morning. The rest of the US might get away with even older pastries. But in a place like France, you can't get away with a pastry being older than a few hours. So let's try some pastries. And then let's go on a walk through Midtown Manhattan. Right now we're on the corner of 37th Street and 6th Avenue at the very moment. And look at this. Here we have a croissant. It has a funny shape to it. Not a perfect crescent, but it does look pretty. And it looks really good and fluffy. Look at that. And then here we have sticky. This one's sticky. A brioche. And this one is a brioche covered in a sugar glaze, which is really interesting. I've tried this before, but this is the most glazed I've seen. Look how shiny this is. It's super shiny right over here. So hello everyone, hello Susie, Chrissy, Queen Bee says, yeah, I finally have great sleep. So if you're wondering, what am I doing in New York? So right here, this is not Chicago, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot more people on the streets, a lot taller buildings. Though Chicago's a pretty tall city. No, I'm no longer in Chicago. If you want to refer to why I'm not in Chicago, go to the post I did recently on YouTube, or go to Facebook/TikTok, and I explain why. Long story short, I stayed in the Airbnb, which was by all means a great Airbnb. However, I had a really weird upstairs neighbor that was banging the floor and the walls for 4 hours, 3 nights in a row. Just intense banging, not working, not doing exercise, not two people having relations, but just incessant banging. It was a little bit disturbing, and I try to find a cheaper Airbnb because the prices were very high for places that were reviewed very low. So nonetheless, that's why I'm back in New York and decided to say F it on cutting my trip short and coming back here to just relax and have a good night's sleep in my own bed, which I did. And I feel a little bit more rested, though I need to catch up on more sleep. So let's try this brioche first. Ooh. Classic brioche, very thick. Susie says it might have been the ghost. I would be really freaked out if the company reaches back to me and says, sir, we looked into the situation, and there was no one staying above you. I'll be really freaked out if they said that. I should have said. Nice soft brioche. The chocolate, not the chocolate, the sugar glaze, really good. Really good chocolate, sugar glaze. Gives they're using sugar pearls to melt it. It has a different texture from your typical glazed donut, for example, here in it has more of a crystallized, crunchy texture on the top, similar to the pineapple buns of Chinese bakeries. Really, really good. As it is doughy. It is doughy, but it's also fluffy, and it's very buttery. That's right, Dara. Very buttery indeed. Wow. Really buttery. That's really good. Come here for the brioche. That's for sure. Martin says, hello from the UK. Someone asked, how's the food in the UK? I love the food in the UK immensely. I went to so many places in the UK, and the food was great in every single place. Good food in the UK. Let's try some Evian sparkling water. Cheers. Oh yeah. Sparkling water is the nectar of the gods. Forget holy water. It's for a taste of divinity. Wow. Oh my god. I feel like I'm skiing the French Alps and I fell down from my skis face first and the snow got into my mouth and it melted and I'm drinking it. Ooh. Oh my god. That's some good sparkling water. Alright. Now for the croissant. Hello Joe, nice to see you here. What Puerto Rican sweet pastries do you like? So the best Puerto Rican sweet pastry is a quesito. That's a great question. Dwayne, that I only have found this so far at 787 Coffee here in New York City, which they're expanding pretty rapidly. So you could find them a bunch of places in Manhattan now. Let's try this out. You know what? I was considering going to Paris, but after this, do I even need to make the trip anymore? Someone just asked, is this the first time here? Yes, it is. I haven't been here before. I didn't even know this place existed. It opened up last June. And I'm shocked that it's been here that long. I wish I knew about it. I'm always on the hunt for pastries, as you know. A lot of my shows are mostly about going to pastries, at least one stop. All right, let's try this out. Oh. Oh my god. Dwayne says, I have a question. There's a classmate who was Mexican who bought these, and he bought these pastries that were sweet and looked like pierogies. You know the name of them? No, unfortunately, I do not know the name. But Mexico has a lot of pastries, Dwayne. It might be called a concha. That might be one of the more famous ones. So look at that. Wow, it's so crunchy and soft and great glaze. Perfectly layered, not too dense as American-made croissants can get. This one is very airy in the middle, but has that perfect exterior. Wow. Wow. Uomi says, I'm making you hungry. Good. Barbara says, enjoy your day. I will. It's called a horn in Spanish, says George. Okay, horn. The other type of Mexican pastry. How's your flight back, says Sally. I loved it. It was a nice flight. Very quick. Only two hours and 10 minutes from Chicago to New York. And I saw the views of New York City skyline as I was flying overhead. It was just amazing. Ella says, why wait? Touche, Ella. I didn't know what could gain weight by watching someone else eat. I'm gonna have a little bit more of this croissant. I'm gonna take the brioche to go. Hey, Veronica says, Ariel wearing his shirt looks handsomer against Bryant Park's lawn tonight, says Veronica. Yeah, I can combine with the lawn. Ooh. I really needed that. Dwayne says, I bet the view at night from the airplane was awesome. I went during the day, so I saw New York City crystal clear from above. And I'll be posting exclusively for patrons, members, and suburbanists in general, video of the plane passing overhead from Manhattan, coming from Chicago. So patreon.com. If you become a patron by June 1st, we will be showing the best of Europe. So 200 patrons, we have 104 left to go. Become a patron and you'll be seeing cool spots in Europe this summer. All right, let's find into it. It's funny, this place is huge, but everyone decided to sit right behind me. There's like a bunch of... Lucinda says, how do you do Patreon? Patreon is $5 a month. So you go to the website, patreon.com, click the $5 a month. It's a recurring payment. You can cancel anytime. No hard feelings if you decide to only be a patron for 1 month. No hard feelings whatsoever. If you have to choose Seattle or Chicago, says Doreen. Chicago had more life, but Seattle had more natural beauty. I like New York. I choose New York. But right now, I would choose Europe. So. And Lara says, yes, indeed. Indeed. Did you leave Midway to return to LaGuardia? Adam, no, I went from O'Hare to JFK. Alex says, I have it on good authority that the room above you was vacant. You can now make a scary vlog. That would have made a scary vlog indeed, yeah. Sarah, not quite the same shirt, no. All right, let's continue walking through. I'm gonna finish this up. Danny says you have to come to Portugal. When it opens up fully, I will. Portugal's still closed. All tricky to go in. Adam says, would you like to go to Miami? Florida does not interest me as much. I have a brother in Florida. I would love to visit him. All right. Is everyone ready to walk out? Because the place is good, but it's sunny in New York right now, so let me know. Ready to walk out of here? So this place is called Marvelous Fred, and it's located at 37th Street and 6th Avenue. Right here. Wilmy says, I'm looking forward to another beautiful summer in Europe. Oh, I'm so glad. Coming to New York in a week, says Samantha, and would like to go here, but I don't know where you were. As I mentioned, 37th Street and 6th Avenue in New York City. Big pro tip. I know this might sound weird if you don't come from a city that has a grid system. It's better to remember the intersecting streets than it is to remember the addresses. Addresses won't help you around while you're walking around. It's better to know the intersection. Once you know the intersection, you can easily find anything, any business, at least here in Manhattan. So just remember the intersection. You'll thank me later. That might not apply to a few neighborhoods like West Village where the street grid is a bit more crazier, but otherwise you'll be trying to search for example, 10, 11, 6th Avenue. But 6th Avenue is crazy long, so you don't know what is the intersecting street. Mastodon says cross street. Yeah, you just remember the cross street, the intersection. Avenue number. Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Just all you need is to know the street number and the avenue number. That's all you need to know in Manhattan, specifically. Sally says, glad you're home. Oh, I'm so glad you want to see a little bit more New York.
You know, they actually, yeah.
Joe says, you agree, yeah. Yeah, I always find it very interesting when people ask me, hey, but, like I tell them the intersection, but this has happened many times on my videos. I say the intersection, people ask me, but what's the address? It's like, don't worry about the address. Unless if you're telling a taxi driver to go exactly where you're going. But even taxi drivers care more about the cross streets than they care about the exact address. Danny says, American flags everywhere. I mean, that is America. We have American flags literally everywhere. Owen, nice to see you here. From New Zealand, welcome. And Arjuna says, have you been to Esabagel? I've actually covered Esabagel before on my live videos. Yes, I highly recommend it. Rob says, are you won't be doing Pride this year. I might not be in the US anymore. Ivan says, how's the weather today? Very sunny. Ooh, I got to update SmartBot. But it's very sunny. 53 degrees Fahrenheit, 54 degrees Fahrenheit. Dwayne says, will you ever go to Toronto? Maybe. My focus is more on Europe in the near future. Hey, baby channel, nice to see you here. DS says, will you be getting us philosophical chats? Yes, this Friday. I mean, next Friday. Ooh, I got planned that, but stay tuned. Arjuna says, how was the UK? You can refer to my UK videos. It was an excellent country to visit. So much fun things to do in the UK. Adam asks, is it always windy in New York or is that just New Jersey? New York and New Jersey basically get same weather. Well, New Jersey is a pretty big state, but yeah, it's almost the same type of weather. They're both equal. Dwayne says, wherever you go, it's always fascinating to see. I'm so glad you enjoyed that. That's awesome to hear. And Jason says, hoping to get to the High Line this spring. Yeah, Jason, High Line is always awesome to visit. Hope you visit as well. I'm curious if there are high rises. Eugene says it's cutting out. Oh. Edward, thank you so much for the €5 super chat. Hopefully New York City will get back to his feet quickly. Pretty much is already. Everything's open. The gentleman right behind me has a Back to the Future 2 hat. Let me know if you remember. Back to the Future 2. Right there. That's so cool. Edward, thank you so much for the €5 super chat. I'm so glad you enjoy it. I'm so glad you're visiting New York soon. Matt, have I been to the vessel? Yes. Refer to my videos. Many videos at the vessel. Morgan, nice to see you here. Welcome. Mark says, back to glory. They gotta take it down already. Matt says, I heard there's a cartoon mask of the Statue of Liberty at the High Line. There's a new High Line sculpture. Interesting, yeah, the High Line always does rotating sculptures. I think the sculptures last 1.5 years and then they rotated. Ivan says, no one's wearing a mask. What is happening here? If people are wondering, I do multi-streaming to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at the same time. And sometimes I may put intonations into your questions where I know you did not intend them. So please don't feel bad. It's for all. You are at risk of a question of yours being grossly misunderstood for entertainment. Of course, I will never offend anyone, at least not purposefully. Nonetheless, Ivan's asking, why is no one wearing a mask? God damn it. It's because the times have changed, Ivan. No longer a need for a mask here in New York City. Oh, the lawn is back. Dwayne says, if the streets and avenues weren't numbered, I easily get lost. That's why in Chicago, for example, also has a grid system, but their grids is named after, it's named after names. So it's hard to orient yourself around Chicago, or at least remember the order of streets and names. YCA says, have you left Chicago? I did, yes. It's doing well. I'm back. I'll drive and listen and watch playback later, says Sally. Oh, I'm glad, yeah. Dwayne says that's a nice place to relax. It really is. DS says, are you looking forward to Doctor Strange? I already have my tickets booked for Doctor Strange. Sally says, can't miss you. I love hearing you. Oh, I'm so glad, Sally. Right over here, we got One Vanderbilt. Beautiful tower. George says, do you plan a meat pie revisit in New York? If there's a new meat pie place, then I'll check it out, yes. I have not heard of it yet. Do let me know if anyone has a scoop on any new meat pies in New York. Park. With a K. Rob says, oh my god, look at that sky. Oh yes. Blue skies ahead. Okay, Google, play Blue Skies by Noah and the Whale. Alexa, play Blue Skies by Noah and the Whale. DS says, are you going to do a movie review? Sort of. It depends. I'm not sure if the movie takes place in the major city. If it does, I might. Doctor Strange is based in New York, but I'm not sure if the movie is even going to show New York.
Probably will. Like, even if I do stay long term, I want to go consider.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't want it to be just because of.
Dwayne says, all I need is some great foods, a good tea, my camera's gonna be happy in that spot. Yeah, it's awesome. During the summer, it gets even more hectic to try to find a seat. It's fierce out here during the summertime. People fight to the death trying to get a seat. But otherwise, nowadays, still, since it's still a little bit chilly, it's a bit easier to just grab a seat. Joe said your Alexa started playing Mr. Blue Sky. Oh my god. It's and that knowing the Whale is a pretty well known band. Sometimes you tell it to play a song and it plays a completely different song from a completely different band. Will Me says hail. Mimi says she's playing Blue Skies. Is it the right one? Anyway, check out the song Blue Skies by Noah and the Whale. Great, great song. Carmen, good afternoon. Veronica says, I see you for the first time from my work. Oh, cool, Veronica. Yeah, you work around here. Let's wave over to Veronica, who's working in one of these buildings. Not sure which one, but I'll just do a queen wave generally at all the buildings. Maybe she's in this one. Queen wave to all the buildings. To be in one of them. Isabel says, I'm looking to see if I see you on Bryant Park webcam. Yep, you might be able to see me. I'm not sure where the Earth Cam location is at Bryant Park. Do let me know. Dawn says, there's sun. That's cool. Yes. The sun has made its way out here in New York City. DS says, we'll remember you are Lord Ariel. Hence the royal wave. Yeah, that's right. Lord Ariel, protector of Glencoe. Samantha says, what's the temp? 56 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds blowing at the northwest at 8 miles per hour. Dwayne says, what's your favorite song with the... Oh my god. We're at a tea party. What's your favorite song with the word sun? Here Comes the Sun. Is the Chicago Loop as old as the New York City subway? Chicago Loop actually predates the subway. So, subway was built mostly in 1904. Started construction. The loop started construction, I think it was the 1870s, 1880s. 1880s. We found the gang again. Bob, Frank. We have Ziomata right over there. Dwayne says, Nightbot still shows Chicago weather. Yeah, I was a bit sleep deprived, so I haven't had the chance to do a lot of updates. But stay tuned. Rob says, grab some samosas. Where? I don't think there's a samosa vendor here. They also have samosas and kati rolls. Joe says winter doesn't leave New York City this year. Nope. I was hoping for sunny 90-degree weather, but nope. It is still cold. And I am vastly disappointed. The weather. Joe says Bob and family are welcoming you back. Yes, indeed they are. Rob says it was an obscure Manchester reference to grab samosas. Interesting, okay. That went over my head. But maybe you should grab some dosas and mimosas with that. Morgan says shorts, there's always that one person in shorts. No matter the weather in New York City, it could be a blizzard with negative 20-degree weather, ice pellets being thrown at your face due to winds that go for more than 100 miles per hour, causing snow mountains to build up by 100 feet, and that person will still be wearing shorts with some flip-flops. Or you can have hurricane weather with water flooding many parts of New York City, up to 10 feet of water. Hurricane force winds. You can have a tornado in Bushwick. That person will still be wearing shorts and flip-flops. Claudia says, I love your tours. Wish I can visit again. Oh, Claudia, I hope you get to visit again. Thank you so much for tuning in. Claudia has been tuning in for years. I think, Claudia, you've been tuning in maybe since the beginning, but thank you so much for watching. Lasimia says, it's so beautiful. It is. It's beautiful out here in New York City. Sunny New York. Yorktown says very windy. Oh, yes. Have you ever ridden the ride? It is a cool ride, actually. I enjoy it. The ride is a nice ride. Sonia says, did you get a good night's sleep? I did indeed. I slept like a baby. Dwayne says in Edmonton, no matter. Eugene says, would you like to have slow-mo on your channel sometime? At the moment, it's not really that necessary. So I'm not getting crazy amount of views. Once I start getting more than 2,000 concurrent viewers, that's when it gets hectic. Veronica says, my Pandora. Yeah, Pandora right here. A lot of stores around here. Got H&M. When did you get back to New York? Yesterday. Eugene says it's frozen now. Oh yes, it's very cold today. Bagels and Walk says, have a safe walk. Thank you so much for tuning in. Your channel name sounds like the perfect combination. Let's check out the giant playbills here in Times Square.
Yeah, a lot of that. Look on the bus. On the bus.
Okay, so do watch out with some of these guys. It's sometimes a bit hard to tell the difference between an official bus ticket vendor and a non-official one. I would say don't even bother going up to one of them unless if you go directly to the stop for the double-decker bus tour. There, yes, you can trust the guy, make sure they have a logo of the company you're approaching. And make sure that the price matches whatever you can quickly search online for. Otherwise, just buy your ticket online, and that's a good deal. So don't trust a guy that's in the middle of like nowhere, because you have a chance that you might be ripped off. There's a new Target in Times Square, says Veronica. Oh, okay, that's cool. Dwayne says, get your tickets from a machine. So I'm referring specifically to double-decker bus tours. That's what the guy just tried to approach me for. Double-decker bus tours don't have machines. They only have people selling them or online. Dumbledore's being. Oh, look at this. Okay, this is worth showing. So usually this is covered in advertisements, but now it's bare. This is one Times Square that has been changed into oblivion. But this was the original skyscraper here in Times Square. Susie says, greetings, one and all. Greetings, Susie.
We're gonna be right here.
Rob says 1960s architecture. Yeah, so this skyscraper, One Times Square, was built in 1904 or 1903. But it has been changed so much that you can't really tell that's an old building. And of course it's covered in advertisements most of the time, at least. Danny asked Ariel, are you scared of the police? Or do you love the police? Danny, life is not a binary, so it's not either or situation, especially when it comes to police officers. It is a very tricky topic to talk about, and other people's experiences might be very different from mine. I've had generally pleasant experiences with police officers. They are somewhat friendly, so if you are in a pickle, yes, do go to a police officer here in New York City. If you're not in a pickle and need some directions, you might be better off asking someone else. But a police officer might be a good last resort if you need to ask for directions. Otherwise, I generally feel safe around police officers, and most of them are doing their job here in New York City. Of course, everyone's experience is going to be different, and it is a very tricky topic. It's very complicated, and if you want to search its complications, go to another show on YouTube. There's a lot of explainers out there about police officers and police. Where are the playbills? Let's see if they're a little further down. When did the neon signs start to show up in New York City? So neon became very popular in the 1920s. Great question, Dwayne. Though, unfortunately, New York, unlike, say, a Hong Kong or even a Seattle, as you saw with many of my photos, New York decided to take down lots of neon signs. So you don't see too many neon signs surviving in this Times Square area. So you'll see more neon signs from the 20s, 30s, and 40s is Greenwich Village, actually. Though they're pretty... Samantha says no tour guides on double-decker buses anymore. There are a few double-deckers that still have live tour guides. Also depends on the season as well. The Ride is probably your best bet for a bus tour that always has a guide. It's called The Ride. But when it comes to Top View, which this woman here is representing, they don't have a guide. However, trust me, benefit you more than course. Most and probably will only serve to inform you. So this woman is singing opera here. There's no political signs. No, no. In the middle of Times Square. Okay, everyone, let me know if you see me and hear me. Let me know. I think they removed the huge playbills. So I think last week they had these massive playbills, which are the pamphlets that are given to you when you see a Broadway show. And they had a huge display of them here, but I think they took them down. This is a bit sad. I wish they still had them up. It's called The Poem. Always love the installations here. Tara says it's cutting out. Yep. Don't use 5G if you're a live streamer. Veronica says the big Walgreens is gone. Oh no! Not the 2-floor Walgreens. It was right in the center of Times Square, right at the One Times Square building. Kat says, look for you on webcam. Oh yeah, I'm right over here. Dwayne says, if you were given permission to paint a mural in New York City, what would you paint? That's a great question. I don't paint myself. But if I were to commission a painting, that's a good question. I have no idea. I would love to paint a mural of Old Penn Station, which was unceremoniously destroyed in the 1960s. And I would love to remind New Yorkers to never do that again and keep our beautiful old architecture, along with building new architecture around it.
But he comes from general enemy. It's not your fault that you're the devil either, right? Wait, who said
Someone
anything
asked about
and who said anything about skin color?
political messages. It's very rare, but yeah, in Times Square sometimes you will find guys.
Did I talk about skin color? Oh, but he sees
trying to share a political message.
That we're gonna come out and talk about race because you're a racist. Right. See, the devil's always gonna show himself with his word. So what? Save you. I am gonna save you. You know what I'm gonna save you for? I got you. Give me Isaiah 14. Oh wait, no, hold up. Give me Isaiah 61 and 5. I'm gonna save you for something. All right. You believe on Jesus Christ? All right. You know what's your name, man? Finito? All right, I got you. So look, we're gonna. My name, Master. Yes.
There we go.
Look,
That's funny.
We're gonna save him, brother. He's gonna be saved, brother.
YCA says I need a break. I need a break with these political talks. Touche. YCA, I agree. Let's go upstairs. I just find it very amusing. They have a very strong premise, those guys saying something. They have Jesus with horns, so I'm not entirely sure what their aim is. Jesus with horns, and they're spouting Bible verses. David says, I saw on the news where a church in New York City is trying to take away the historic designation that it has, so it can sell it to tear it down to build high rises because they can't keep it up anymore. Yes, that you might be referring to St. Bart's. So Dwayne is referring to St. Bart's, most likely, or at least St. Bart's was one of the churches in New York City that didn't want to be landmarked anymore.
Hey, because you know, food, eat ready.
Dwayne makes a great comment. I'm not Dwayne, David. Unfortunately, being a landmark is a double-edged sword because yes, you get to preserve a historic building, but since it's landmarked, if it is a private business or a private organization, which a lot of the landmark buildings will be, the restrictions are so high, it's hard to make any adjustments. And also, you can't really sell any part of that land, so you're kind of screwed with it. You have to maintain it, or you're forced to maintain it, which is a very tough position for a business landmark building. More flexibility with that church, because if that church could sell a portion of the land and use that to maintain the church, I think that would be a win-win for all. But they don't really allow that. Oh, here. Okay, we found the giant playbills. All right, let's go for a final stop here at Times Square. The playbills. Yorktown says, my political talk is about love and peace and a double cheeseburger, says Yorktown. That sounds like a great philosophy to have. Double cheeseburgers for all. Can I get an amen? Ron says, aren't landmarks exempt from taxes? Ooh, I don't know. I don't think so. I think there might be some type of tax credit, but not fully exempt. Okay, so pro tip, actually, before I continue moving on. This is the TKTS booth. Here you can get very cheap tickets the night of the performance. So if you want to spontaneously go to a Broadway show, just hop onto this booth. It could be even up to 15 minutes before showtime. Hop onto the booth. Sometimes the waits are very short and you'll be able to get a great ticket. For example, I end up getting orchestra seating, which is the middle section of the Broadway show, 5th row, which is very close to the stage, for only $80 to see Company, which is a great show in a great theater. $80, that's only it took me. That ticket would usually go for about $200. So good deals there at TKTS, and there's other ones. Go to Today Ticks for buying ahead of time. So if you want to buy a few days ahead of time, Today Ticks. If you want to spend very little, but really go to a spontaneous show that randomly is chosen for you, go to Broadway Roulette. Those are my 3 recommendations. Susie says, don't go, I'm finishing work. So here are the huge playbills. Oh, this is so cool. Oh my god, Billy Crystal's back on Broadway? That's cool. Mr. Saturday Night. Oh, that's cool. I might see that. And here is a map of all the Broadway shows, the big ones at least. And it says, since 1884, Playbill has been a preeminent publication for Broadway and off-Broadway theater goers, providing complete cast and production credits for each show, as well as features and interviews highlighting the many voices that make up the theater community. Playbill is also proud to serve the most prominent classic art venues in New York and across the country. More than 25 years ago, Playbill expanded beyond a print magazine and established Playbill.com, the leading website for Broadway news and information. Within the past 2 decades, Playbill has expanded to include PlaybillStore.com, an online retailer for theater fans. The make your own Playbill website, Playbuilder.com, and Playbill Travel, a full service travel agency focused on Broadway cruises and additional vacations. Allergies. I'm not crying because of how beautiful that's written. Company, check it out. Great show. My recommendations here would be Aladdin, Company, Phantom of the Opera, probably the most iconic Broadway show you can visit. Highly recommend it. Book of Mormon if you want to laugh your ass off. And that's all I know so far. Oh, hello. La 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 la. I forgot the words. But Book of Mormon, great show. Ding dong. Susie says, I want to see MJ, the musical. Oh, you do? Cool. Here's Come From Away. Every time I look at this, I think of Styx and the song Come Sail Away With Me, even though I know it's not related at all. Sean says, did you enjoy your deep dish? I did enjoy my deep dish. It's not a pizza I would have regularly. New York beats it. There, I said it. Bella says, I want to see the Tina Turner show. Okay, let's go. Alright, who wants to go? Let me know. We'll head out to Tina Turner. All see it. If only I could live stream for a Broadway musical, that'd be cool. Tickets are pricey, says Susie. As I mentioned, yeah, go to TKTS. Go to Today Tix, Susie, so, since I know you're in Brooklyn. Oh, pro tip. If you're in Brooklyn, there is a TKTS stand in Brooklyn for Broadway musicals. I'm not 100% sure if it's still open, if anyone can verify right now, but there should be one right by downtown Brooklyn, right by the college, the Polytech College. That's a TKTS stand that you can go, if you're staying in Brooklyn, while buy your Broadway tickets that day of, and then come over later at night and come see a show. Here's Funny Girl. Oh, the Funny Girl with the star of Booksmart, the sister of Jonah Hill. Beanie Feldstein. Adam says, have you seen Dear Evan Hansen? No, I have not. I don't like those type of musicals. So, this is a personal opinion. but I don't like musicals that are too pop music based or punk based. So unfortunately, no, I'm not a fan of Rent. I'm not really interested in Dear Evan Hansen. I'm a little bit skeptical of Hadestown, though I've heard good things. I'm skeptical because I don't like modern musicals. Overall musical, I like the classic musical with loud, beautiful orchestral music like Company, or I might be interested in The Funny Girl, for example. Susie says make an exception for MJ. Yeah, I usually don't like those pop musicals either. So Tina, it doesn't interest me personally. How do you feel about Hamilton? So Hamilton is a unique case because Hamilton, I love it. I love In the Heights as well. It's very rare that you have a Broadway musical that does modern music and integrates it well into the Broadway formula. So it doesn't feel like a series of songs that are sung in between the drama of the musical, which is the case with some of these other musicals. But instead, they are the show. So Hamilton, the songs are the show. And since that's the case, it's really well done, I think, in my opinion. Yeah. Phantom of the Opera is another good example. There's those kind of rock opera elements in Phantom of the Opera, but the music is written from the ground up for the story. I'm curious about this one, Plaza Suite, written by Neil Simon, one of the more famous writers of Broadway history. And this is with Sarah Jessica Parker and her husband, Matthew Broderick. They're starring the show together. Doreen says, I do want to see Funny Girl. Yeah, I really want to see Funny Girl. And Little Shop of Horrors. Okay, this is another exception, I would say, to the popular music. This is a rock opera. I think they do it really well, too. I love this. So check this out. This is between 48th Street and 47th Street on Broadway, right by the Krispy Kreme donut store. But don't go to Krispy Kreme. Go 2 blocks that way to Bibble and Sip for your pastry. Okay, so I will be back for one video tomorrow at 4 p.m. After that, I will be going live on a weekly basis on Saturdays at 1 p.m. for May. So stay tuned. Saturdays at 1 p.m. for May, I'll be back. And then the schedule will be different in June. Stay tuned. So stay tuned, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be working on a few vlogs, which is cool. I'm gonna see how vlogging is here in New York City, history videos specifically. So stay tuned for that. What happened to a DoubleTree hotel here? So Samantha, I don't know. Some trees are still open. Yeah, the DoubleTree should still be open. Some hotels, I don't think any hotel closed really. I think all of them are still open. Wendy says, see you. Thank you so much. All right, see you tomorrow, Friday, 4 p.m. And then on May, it'll be every Saturday at 1 p.m. And mini live videos throughout, so press that bell button. All right, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Keep being awesome, and always keep on exploring. 200 patrons by June 1st, and you'll be seeing some cool European cities as well. Ciao.